Okay, Jake, I need to tell you something embarrassing that happened to me recently.
This is already going to be good. What happened?
So, I went to the market last weekend. Big, busy market, vegetables, fruits, everything. And I wanted to bargain with the vendor like a normal person, but every word I needed was only coming to me in my mother tongue. And I just stood there pointing at things and saying, this one, this one, this one.
The this one approach, a classic.
And the vendor was looking at me like, why is this person just pointing at everything?
And did you get a good price at least?
I have no idea. I just paid whatever he said because I could not argue in English.
Oh no, the market won that day.
The market absolutely won. Welcome, everyone, to Real Talk Podcast. I am Mia, and this is Jake, and today we are talking about something so practical, so useful, and so daily that you will be using what you learned today probably within the next 24 hours. English words and phrases from the market. The vegetable market, the fruit stall, the grocery shop, the bargaining conversation, all of it in real English.
And just like our kitchen episode, the beautiful thing about market vocabulary is that so many of these words go far beyond the market itself. Market language has given the English language some of its most commonly used everyday expressions in business, in relationships, and life.
Exactly. The market is everywhere in English. Okay, let us go shopping.
Let us go.
Hello, and welcome to your English lesson inside today's episode of Real Talk Podcast. Today's topic is market vocabulary and daily life English from shopping, buying, and bargaining. As Mia and Jake talk, we will stop in between to teach you useful English words and phrases. Many of these words are used both literally in the market and figuratively in everyday conversation. Listen carefully, learn naturally, and improve your English every single day. Let us begin. Jake, let us start with the most basic market words, the things and people you find in any market, anywhere in the world, because knowing these words makes you immediately more confident in any shopping or buying situation in English.
Right. And these words also appear constantly in business English and professional conversations, like when someone talks about cornering the market or being in the marketplace of ideas or saying the market is flooded with competition. All of that language comes from the physical market.
Oh, so understanding market vocabulary literally helps you understand business English automatically.
Exactly. 2 benefits, 1 lesson.
Basic market vocabulary. Let us learn the words and their everyday English meanings. First word, vendor. In the market, a vendor is a person who sells goods from stall or shop. For example, the vegetable vendor at the corner of the market always has the freshest produce every morning. In everyday English, we also say vendor in business means any supplier or company that provides goods or services to another company. For example, we need to find a new vendor who can supply the materials at a lower cost and faster delivery time. Second word, stall. In the market, a stall is a small stand or booth where goods are displayed and sold. For example, she bought the most beautiful fresh flowers from a stall at the end of the market lane. In everyday English, we also say to stall, meaning to delay or stop making progress on something deliberately or accidentally. For example, the negotiations stalled because neither side was willing to make the first compromise. We also say to stall for time, meaning to deliberately delay something to give yourself more time. For example, he kept asking unnecessary questions in the meeting just to stall for time while his team finished the presentation. Third word, haggle. In the market, to haggle means to negotiate and argue over the price of something to get a better deal. For example, in Indian markets, you're expected to haggle over the price, and the vendor already builds that into the starting price. In everyday English, we also say to haggle over something, meaning to argue back and forth over details, terms, or conditions. For example, the two companies spent 3 weeks haggling over the terms of the contract before finally reaching an agreement. Fourth word, bargain. In the market, a bargain means something bought at a price lower than its usual value. For example, she got an amazing bargain on the silk saris because she visited the market early before the crowds arrived. In everyday English, we also say bargain in relationships and agreements, meaning a deal or agreement made between two parties. For example, they struck a bargain where he would handle the cooking and she would handle the finances. We also say more than you bargained for, meaning getting more than you expected, usually in a negative or overwhelming way. For example, taking on that project turned out to be way more than she bargained for when she realized the scope of the work. Fifth word, browse. In the market, to browse means to look at goods casually without necessarily intending to buy anything immediately. For example, I went to the market just to browse, but ended up buying 3 things I didn't plan for. Jake, I love the more than you bargained for one because that happens to me with every project I take on. I say yes thinking it will be small and easy, and then suddenly it is 3 times bigger and 10 times harder.
The eternal optimism of saying yes before fully understanding what you are saying yes to.
Exactly. I am a more than I bargained for specialist. Okay, let us talk about the actual items you find in a market, because I think knowing the English names of vegetables, fruits, and grocery items is so important for daily life.
Absolutely. And also because when you are following an English recipe or watching a cooking video or reading a food article, you need to know these words immediately. Otherwise, you're just guessing at what you're supposed to be buying.
So true. I have definitely bought the wrong thing at the grocery store because I did not know the English name.
What did you buy?
I will not say, but it was not what the recipe wanted.
The mystery ingredient. Market items vocabulary. Common vegetables, fruits, and grocery words in English. Vegetables. Onion. Piyaz in Hindi. For example, chop 2 large onions finely before adding them to the pan. Tomato. Tomater in Hindi. For example, blend 4 ripe tomatoes into a smooth puree for the base of the curry. Potato. Aloo in Hindi. For example, boil the potatoes until they are soft enough to pierce easily with a fork. Cauliflower. Gogi in Hindi. For example, break the cauliflower into small florets before roasting them. Spinach. Palak in Hindi. For example, wash the spinach leaves thoroughly before adding them to the dal. Brinjal, also called eggplant or aubergine in British English. Bangan in Hindi. For example, roast the brinjal directly on the flame until the skin is completely charred. Bitter gourd. Karela in Hindi. For example, soak the bitter gourd slices in salted water for 30 minutes to reduce the bitterness. Bottle gourd. Loki in Hindi. For example, bottle gourd is very light and easy to digest, making it perfect for summer cooking. Ridge gourd. Turai in Hindi. For example, peel the ridge gourd before cutting it into rounds. Drumstick. Sahajan in Hindi. For example, add the drumsticks to the sambar and let them cook until they are completely tender. Fruits. Mango. In Hindi. For example, the Alfonso mango is considered the king of mangoes and is available only during summer. Banana. Kela in Hindi. For example, the bananas at the market were perfectly ripe with just a few brown spots on the skin. Guava. Amrud in Hindi. For example,
Eat guava with a pinch of salt and chili powder for the most authentic Indian street food experience. Papaya, papita in Hindi. For example, add ripe papaya chunks to your morning breakfast for a naturally sweet and healthy start. Pomegranate, anar in Hindi. For example, sprinkle pomegranate seeds over the raita for a burst of color and freshness. Custard apple, sitafal in Hindi. For example, custard apple season is very short, so buy them fresh from the market whenever you see them. Jackfruit, katal in Hindi. For example, raw jackfruit is used as a meat substitute in many vegetarian dishes because of its texture. Grocery items, lentils, dal in Hindi. For example, stock up on different varieties of lentils, including masoor dal, tur dal, and mung dal for a complete pantry. Rice, chawal in Hindi. For example, basmati rice is the most aromatic variety and works best for biryani and pulao. Flour, atta in Hindi. For example, buy fresh stone-ground flour from the market for the softest, most flavorful chapatis. Oil, tel in Hindi. For example, use cold-pressed mustard oil for authentic Bengali cooking and cold-pressed coconut oil for South Indian dishes. Spices, masale in Hindi. For example, a well-stocked spice box is the foundation of great Indian cooking.
Jake, the drumstick one always gets me because when I first heard drumstick in English, I thought it was a chicken drumstick or a music drumstick.
The triple meaning drumstick, the vegetable, the chicken piece, and the thing you hit a drum with.
All called drumstick. The English language is absolutely wild sometimes.
It really is. Context is everything in English. Always look at what's around the word to understand which meaning is being used.
That is actually a very important English learning tip. The word context means the situation or surrounding information that helps you understand the exact meaning of a word. For example, drumstick in a recipe means the vegetable. Drumstick in a music store means the drumstick. Drumstick at a restaurant means the chicken piece. Same word, three completely different meanings. Context tells you which one. Okay, let us talk about the bargaining conversation, because I think this is something so many people need. How do you actually bargain in English? What do you say? What are the phrases?
Okay, this is so practical. And the bargaining conversation in English is actually really simple once you know the key phrases. And these phrases are not just useful at the market. They're useful whenever you're negotiating anything in English. Salary, rent, business deals, anything.
Oh, so learning to bargain in English is actually learning to negotiate in English.
Exactly the same skill. The market just makes it more fun. Bargaining and negotiation phrases in English. These phrases work at the market and in professional negotiations. Asking the price. How much is this? What is the price of this? How much does this cost? What are you charging for this? Saying the price is too high. That's a bit expensive for me. That seems quite high. I wasn't expecting it to be that much. Is that the best price you can offer? Making a counteroffer. I'll give you blank for this. How about blank instead? I can offer you blank. Does that work? Would you take blank for this? Pushing for a better deal. Can you do any better than that? Is there any discount available? If I buy more, can you reduce the price? I've seen it cheaper elsewhere. Closing the deal. Okay, that sounds fair. I'll take it. Deal. Let's go with that price. All right, I'll take 2 at that price. Perfect. Shall I pay now? Walking away phrase. That's too much for me. Thank you anyway. I'll think about it and come back. Maybe another time. Thank you. Key vocabulary for bargaining. First word, negotiate. This means to discuss something formally in order to reach an agreement. For example, she negotiated the price down from 500 rupees to 350 rupees. Second word, discount. This means a reduction in the usual price of something. For example, The vendor offered a 10% discount because she was buying a large quantity. Third word, bulk. This means a large quantity of something. For example, if you buy in bulk, the price per unit is almost always significantly lower. Fourth word, quote. This means to state a price for doing something or for selling something. For example, the vendor quoted 200 rupees per kilo, but she negotiated it down to 160. Fifth word, final price. This means the last price offered after all negotiation is complete. For example, after 10 minutes of back and forth, they agreed on a final price that both sides found acceptable.
Jake, I wish I had known all those bargaining phrases before my market disaster last weekend.
You could have said, I wasn't expecting it to be that much, instead of just standing there pointing.
I could have been so sophisticated. I wasn't expecting it to be that much, instead of just staring in silent confusion.
Next time, Mia, next time.
Next time, I'm ready. Okay, let us talk about something I think is really interesting, how market words are used in everyday English and in business English, because I think people will be surprised how often they hear these words.
Right, like when someone says the job market is tough right now, or the housing market has gone crazy, or we need to market this idea better, or she's a marketable candidate. All of that comes from basic market vocabulary.
Oh, so understanding the market literally helps you understand all of that business and professional English automatically.
Completely. The market is the foundation of so much English vocabulary. It's hard to overstate it. Market words in everyday and business English. Let's learn how market vocabulary appears beyond the physical market. First word, market. Basic meaning, a place where goods are bought and sold. In business English, the job market means the availability of jobs and employment opportunities. For example, the job market is very competitive right now, and candidates need to stand out more than ever before. The housing market has gone completely unaffordable for most young people in cities. To market something means to promote and advertise something to potential buyers. For example, they need to market the product better if they want it to reach a wider audience. Second word, supply. Basic meaning, the amount of something available to be bought or used. In everyday English, supply and demand means the relationship between how much of something is available and how much people want it.
For example, the price went up because supply could not keep up with the sudden surge in demand. To supply means to provide or make available. For example, can you supply me with the information I need before tomorrow's meeting, please? Third word, demand. Basic meaning, the desire of buyers to purchase goods or services. In everyday English, in demand means something or someone that is very wanted or popular. For example, she is one of the most in-demand speakers in the industry right now. To demand means to ask for something very firmly and strongly. For example, the employees demanded better working conditions, and the management finally agreed to listen. Fourth word, stock. Basic meaning, the goods available for sale in a shop or market. In everyday English, out of stock means something is not available because it has all been sold. For example, the most popular items were out of stock within an hour of the sale beginning. To take stock means to carefully assess a situation before deciding what to do. For example, after a difficult year, she decided to take stock of her life and figure out what she actually wanted going forward. In stock means something is available and ready to be sold or used. For example, good news! The product you ordered is back in stock and will be delivered by tomorrow. Fifth word, price. Basic meaning, the amount of money asked or paid for something. In everyday English, at any price means regardless of the cost or sacrifice involved. For example, she wanted to succeed at any price, even if it meant sacrificing her personal life. To pay the price means to suffer the consequences of something. For example, he cut corners on the project and is now paying the price with an angry client and a damaged reputation. Price tag means the cost of something, whether literal or figurative. For example, Success comes with a heavy price tag that most people are not fully prepared for when they start chasing it. Sixth word, sell. Basic meaning, to give goods or services in exchange for money. In everyday English, to sell yourself means to present yourself confidently and persuasively to others. For example, in a job interview, you have to sell yourself effectively in the first 3 minutes. Sell out means to betray your values or principles for personal gain. For example, he sold out his team by taking credit for their work in front of senior management. A sellout means an event where all tickets have been sold. For example, the concert was a complete sellout within 20 minutes of tickets going on sale. Seventh word, worth. Basic meaning, the value of something expressed in money. In everyday English, worth it means something is good enough to justify the cost, time, or effort involved. For example, the extra effort she put into the presentation was absolutely worth it when she saw the client's reaction. Net worth means the total value of everything a person owns. For example, building your net worth is not just about earning more, it is also about spending less and investing wisely. Self-worth means the value you place on yourself as a person. For example, your self-worth should never be determined by your salary or your job title alone.
Jake, the self-worth one is so important because I think a lot of people confuse their net worth with their self-worth.
That is such a profound observation, Mia. Net worth is what you have. Self-worth is who you are. And mixing those two up is one of the most common and most damaging mistakes people make, especially in their 20s when they're just starting out.
Exactly. And on that note, let us do our last section, market phrases that are used in relationships and daily conversations, because some of these are so funny and so specific.
Oh, yes. Like when someone says, you get what you pay for, or love is not a transaction, or stop window shopping for a relationship and actually commit to someone.
Window shopping for a relationship, that is so specific and so real.
Just browsing, not ready to buy.
Oh, that is too accurate for some people I know. Market phrases in relationships and daily conversations. These are very commonly used in casual English speech. First phrase, you get what you pay for, meaning the quality of something usually reflects how much you paid for it. Cheap choices often lead to poor results. For example, he bought the cheapest laptop available and it broke within a month. You get what you pay for. Second phrase, window shopping, meaning looking at options without any serious intention of committing. For example, he's been window shopping for a serious relationship for 3 years and never actually committing to anyone. Third phrase, buyer's remorse, meaning the feeling of regret after making a purchase or a major decision. For example, she accepted the job offer and immediately felt buyer's remorse when she found out about the work culture. Fourth phrase, sold on something, meaning completely convinced and enthusiastic about something. For example, after the presentation, the entire team was completely sold on the new strategy. Fifth phrase, not buying it, meaning not believing or accepting what someone is saying. For example, he said he was not late because of traffic, but nobody in the room was buying it. Sixth phrase, cut price, meaning offered or sold at a lower price than usual, often suggesting lower quality. For example, be careful of cut-price solutions to serious problems because they usually create bigger problems later. Seventh phrase, hard sell, meaning a very aggressive and forceful way of trying to persuade someone to buy something or agree to something. For example, the sales representative gave such a hard sell that the customer left the shop feeling pressured and uncomfortable. Seventh phrase, soft sell, meaning a gentle, subtle way of persuading someone without pressure or aggression. For example, the best salespeople use a soft sell approach that makes the customer feel like they're making their own decision freely. Eighth phrase, cost-effective, meaning giving good value for the money spent, worth the cost. For example, hiring a professional was the most cost-effective decision they made because it saved them from making very expensive mistakes later. Ninth phrase, at a premium, meaning at a higher than usual price because of high quality or high demand. For example, properties in the city center are available only at a premium because of their location and convenience. Today's complete vocabulary summary. Let's quickly review everything we learned today. Vendor, a person or company that sells. Stall, a market booth or to delay progress. Haggle, to negotiate over price aggressively. Bargain, a good deal or an agreement. Browse, to look casually without committing. Negotiate, to discuss to reach an agreement. Discount, a reduction in price. Bulk, a large quantity. Quote, to state a price. Market, a place to buy and sell or a wider industry. Supply, what is available. Demand, what people want. Stock, available goods or to assess a situation. Price, the cost or the consequence. Sell, to exchange for money or to present yourself. Worth, the value of something or someone. You get what you pay for. Quality reflects cost. Window shopping, looking without committing. Buyer's remorse, regret after a decision. Sold on something, completely convinced. Not buying it, not believing something. Hard sell, aggressive persuasion. Soft sell, gentle, subtle persuasion. Cost-effective, good value for money. At a premium, at a higher than usual price. Practice tip for today. Next time you go to any market or shop, try to use at least 3 English phrases from today's lesson. Ask, how much is this? Say, that seems quite high. Try, I'll give you blank for this. Even if you feel shy, just try one phrase. Real English confidence is built one real conversation at a time. The market is waiting, and now you're ready for it.
Okay, everyone, that's a wrap on today's episode, English vocabulary from the market. And the biggest takeaway from today is this. The market is not just a place to buy vegetables, it's a classroom. Every vendor, every price, every bargain is a chance to practice real English in a real situation with a real person. And now you have the words to do it, confidently.
And remember, whether you're haggling at a vegetable stall or negotiating a salary or convincing someone of an idea, the skills are exactly the same. Know your worth, state your price, and never settle for less than what you deserve.
Oh, that is so good. Know your worth, state your price, and never settle for less than what you deserve. That works in the market and in life.
The market teaches everything if you pay attention.
Oh, it really does. Okay, everyone, if today helped your English, please subscribe and share it with a friend who needs to improve their English too. Drop us a comment and tell us which market phrase you're going to use today. We genuinely love hearing from you, and we read every single one.
Take care of yourselves, everyone. Go to the market, speak English, haggle confidently. See you in the next one.
Bye, everyone.